Hello all, it's Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3, and in this particular video I'm going to talk to you about reasons not to get a doctorate. I think these are really important. So if you don't know me, I'm an associate professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There were so many people that helped me out that I wanted to pay the favor forward and help you out a little bit. So a lot of the common reasons that people get doctoral degrees, I think, are misdirected. And that's actually a really big reason why I wanted to do the reciprocity project, or where it sort of a lot of these YouTube videos started at, was just giving people information and letting them make more informed, better decisions going forward before they jump into something that is so daunting. It's very difficult to figure out what we do, and what, professors, what the whole life is, what the life is to actually get a doctorate. So I want to make you think about these decisions a little bit more. So here are some common reasons. So the first one is for financial reasons. You think that getting a PhD is going to, or any doctorate is going to increase your salary in some sort of way. It probably doesn't happen that way. I don't think it's a very good return on your investment. And the reason is that there is large opportunity costs. So the longer you spend in the program, the more that you're foregoing for a salary that you're doing. So the optimal sort of best return on your investment is some sort of master's program or a CFA or something along those lines, where you could probably do it at the same time, and it's only going to take you a year of doing that particular thing, and you could do it at the same time as working. Whereas a doctorate at most great schools are not going to allow you to do that, because it is a full-time job. In fact, it's more than a full-time job for most of us. It's very time consuming, and we dedicate a tremendous amount of time to the profession straight when you actually enter the program. Talk to any doctoral program that's at a good university, they're all going to say that. They just don't have time for anything else. So really take your time with thinking about that for financial reasons, and really I would love for you to explore other domains, like getting an RN, for example, an MBA, a CFA, something along those lines that's going to allow you to jump into industry much more quicker and get a quicker return on your investment than doing a doctorate degree. Now, another one that you often hear is that you actually want to teach. Now, teaching is a beautiful thing. I think it's wonderful. I sort of view this as a little bit of teaching, but without teaching, you can get the same benefit than if you don't have a doctorate degree and you teach, as you do as when you have a doctoral degree and you teach. In fact, a huge number of universities are looking for adjunct faculty, and they're just looking for somebody that is good in the classroom, that can actually teach and do those particular things. So you would be better off to not get a doctorate degree if you want to teach. It is, it's just very time consuming, and a doctorate degree and a doctoral program, in ones that are, the world class, they're wanting you to actually do research. We do not teach that much. That's not the sort of point of why we actually do research, or why we do a doctoral degree. We're doing a doctoral degree to understand something and take a deep dive into something, not to learn how to teach. Unfortunately, that's just not what we do. We learn that as we go. It's kind of an apprentice model. But most of us are really taking a deep dive in what we actually do in terms of our research. So if you want to teach, I would spend your time looking for other ways to do that, versus going and talking to a chair at a department and say, I want to teach in your program. They're probably going to jump on that opportunity if you have more than 5 years work experience. And you don't need a doctorate, and you're just going to do just as well as if you're going to teach. Another thing that you might think about, and I was probably tricked, I know I was tripped on this, is to think about the status and the positions you actually get that are available to professors, right? So a lot of professors are world class, that, you do get People might defer to you in your decision making. I don't know how much, but like that kind of stuff, right? Where you're thinking that there is some status and position that you gain from that as a professor. The problem is getting professor jobs in this day and age is becoming even increasingly more difficult to get. And your returns are far better to build up the same status within industry and look for slightly easier paths where you're actually getting paid to do the things that you're doing versus going into the professor route or the doctorate route. Unless you really need that, I wouldn't choose to go that route to gain that particular status. And it's really not worth that much at the end of the day to actually have that name in front of you or that designation in front of your name. I really don't think that it's nearly as important as actually getting out there and earning your status in another way that is less costly. So two more things is, you often hear that professors or people go and get a doctorate, or people sometimes think this because their parents and friends like the idea of them getting a PhD. I don't want you to think like that at all. I don't want you to make any sort of life decision based on somebody else. I want you to make your life decision on what you thought about, and you really took a deep dive into what you are actually doing. Do not pay the cost for somebody else's decisions. You really have to want to do whatever the thing that you want to do. If it's an entrepreneurial venture, if it's creating a new innovation, if it's going and getting your doctorate, whatever it is that you're thinking about that is different and unique, and it's going to take a lot of work to get there. I would really, really want you to be self-interested and just, you don't care about what other people say. You're just doing it because you are doing that thing, rather than thinking about what everybody else is telling you to do. So really take that time to really think about it versus jumping into it. Now, another thing is that I think is, and it tripped me up too, is, and these are all kind of things that trip me up in sort of things that I've learned along the way. The other one is thinking about, it's a logical step in your academic career in that you go from your high school to bachelor's to master's to PhD and then to professor. We get kind of caught up in the what's called performance feedback of it. So every time you do something, you get feedback from it, and you do it and you're correct, and you do it and you're correct. And we kind of get caught up in that because it is a nice pattern to get into. It's sort of, you kind of get into a routinized fashion or routinized behavior. So I want you to actually think about, going into doing your doctorate, going in a different direction, because you want to do it and not just because it is the next logical step in your particular career path. You really need to stop and think about whether you actually want to do this because it's an investment in your career. And you're going to go to a why as you do that. This is kind of the weird spot where you're either going to go into a research career. Even if you don't go into academia, you'll probably do research once you get your doctorate, or you're going to go and do some sort of management thing. It's much more common to do that without your doctorate degree in management career. So I would get you to think about what you want to do going forward and really think about how other people are doing that, and get you to be very practical with it. So go and look on LinkedIn what other people are doing within that domain that you want to do. So if you want to become a CEO, see what they're doing. If you want to become an inventor, go see what they did and look at 10 other people, look at 100 other people and see what they actually did. What was their background? You're going to get a sense of what they did in terms of accomplishing those particular things, and you're going to get a much better idea on the route that they actually take. So really spend the time to do this. You got the time. Life is a long time, so you want to make sure that you actually are really excited about the thing that you're actually doing, and then you can jump into it and have some fun. Oh, and the other thing is just go talk to some people that are actually doing it. That's why I'm doing these videos. But, just go and talk to people and find out what they think. Talk to more people than just me or some crazy guy in the internet. Go and actually talk to other people that are in the community that have done similar things and see what they think. They might give you better information. So that's it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and just don't do a doctorate for, anything other than you're really just passionate about learning something and you're really curious about the world. So just take that into some thought, and have a good day. Take care. Bye.